If not, we want to thank you.
Well, thank you. I can even take the food on the way out.
Somebody gonna tap.
Yes, sir.
You want to hear this? This is going to be a nice speech. If you want to hear it, okay. All right. Thank you again. Our next speaker, we're going to turn right into our next speaker, is Mr. Lonnie Hayes III. He is the Virginia State Director for Minorities for Medical Marijuana. Lonnie Hayes III here serves as the Virginia State Director of Minorities for Medical Marijuana, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing equitable cannabis policy, economic inclusion, and social justice for communities of color. In this role, Lonnie is a driving force behind efforts to educate, empower, and engage Black and Brown communities across Virginia on the opportunities and challenges within the emerging cannabis industry. With a background in public health, business development, and community organizing, Lonnie brings a passionate commitment to ensuring the legalization efforts in Virginia do not leave the most impacted communities behind. His work includes coalition building with lawmakers, supporting expungement efforts, and providing resources for minority entrepreneurs seeking to enter the medical marijuana space. Whether leading a grassroots education campaign or advising on inclusion cannabis legislation, Lonnie Hayes is shaping a more just and equitable future for the Virginia cannabis landscape. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Lonnie Hayes.
What's going on, everyone? How you doing? First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for the opportunity to be here. I started with some intention, changes in the laws, and did some research, and happened to have this opportunity fall into my lap as I worked on and found more about what we can do. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to begin by thanking the officers and members of Richmond Crusade for Voters for inviting me to speak with you all tonight. It's truly an honor to stand before such a historically noted and politically engaged organization. A special thank you to Ms. Jo Henry, Ms. Bernice Travers, and Mr. Jonathan Davis. Your commitment to civic engagement and justice is deeply appreciated. I'm also here on behalf of Minorities for Medical Marijuana, or IMFA, and I bring greetings from our national team. We were founded in 2016, Minorities for Medical Marijuana, and we are the nation's largest 501c3 profit focused on cannabis justice, with over 27 state chapters, 4 international chapters, and 11 national programs. We advocate equity, inclusion, and economic empowerment in the cannabis industry. Our mission is rooted in education, outreach, public policy reform, and community reinvestment. We exist to make sure the communities most harmed by the war on drugs are not left behind now that cannabis is becoming legal. 3 of our major achievements are Project Clean Slate, which helps people expunge low-level marijuana and cannabis offenses, Ready, Set, Grow, our college internship and workforce apprenticeship program, and last, successfully lobbying efforts, as we have in Nevada, where we help build a social equity and racial equity by getting members of the community to come together and vote the right governor in, the right AG in, like we plan on doing here in Virginia. We don't just show up, we stay involved, build coalitions, and push for equity in a state where cannabis is on the table. Earlier today, so I'd like to add to that, earlier today I wasn't feeling like myself at work overnight. I work overnight at Amazon. I'm also a realtor, I'm gonna get with you, Steve, and running a family business. And I was not quite feeling well, but this is bigger than me, and I knew that you all were coming out to hear about this, so here I am, we're gonna push forward. So yeah, we don't just show up, we stay involved, we build coalitions, and push for equity in every state. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm someone who believes deeply in fairness, access, and opportunity. I got involved in cannabis legislation not because I'm interested in just getting high or smoking, but I'm interested in justice from the field war on drugs. For years, I've worked alongside advocates to help push legislation, legalization in Virginia, especially focused on how it could benefit Black and brown communities. I've had the honor of lobbying at the General Assembly, testifying at hearings and helping build coalitions of everyday people demanding a seat at the table. In 2024, we saw major progress after years of hard work and dedicated team activists to help pass an adult use legalization bill through chambers and of the Virginia General Assembly. But as many of you know, Governor Youngkin vetoed that bill twice in 2024 and in 2025. And you might expect me to be upset, and yes, I part in, but in another way, I say that the veto was a blessing in disguise, because as strong as the bill was, it still did not go far enough in guaranteeing Black ownership, equity, and community investment. So here we are with elections in November 2025 and a new General Assembly session in 2026. We have a clear opportunity to get it right and make sure that our communities don't just watch this new industry flourish, but actually own, lead, and benefit from it. Let's get real for a moment. None of us are up here saying people should go out and get high. That's not the message. But marijuana will become legal in Virginia. The only question is who benefits from it. In the 1930s, alcohol became legal again. Virginia created the ABC board, which currently oversees the alcoholic beverages that are sold in Virginia. And Black folks were excluded from that new legal industry. The same thing is happening right now with cannabis, and I do not want that for our community. The veto bill included provision that 70% of cannabis tax revenue will go back into communities most impacted by the war on drugs. This is more than cannabis. It's about what our children, our grandchildren, our communities stand to gain if we stand together now. And also put that in numbers, over $1 billion in community reinvestment funds have been accrued over the first 7 years since legalization. A committed team, including some of your own like Marty Jewell, who many of you know as well, is already working on a 2025-2026 strategy. So moving on what's happening for us next. We can't do it alone in helping. We need the voices, votes, and pressure of organizations like Richmond Crusade for Voters to seal the deal in the next legislation. As the late Senator Henry Marsh once said, us politicians are chickens. If you want us to do something, you gotta make us do it. Let's remember, it's not just enough to vote. We must also make our elected officials deliver on the promises that they make. So thank you again for your time, for your leadership. This is our moment to turn generations of harm into real economic healing and opportunity. I'll now open the floor for questions, and I'm joined tonight by Attorney Philip Thompson and other members of our cannabis legislation lobby who can assist in answering any questions.
I have a question.
Okay. So, can I ask you first?
Huh?
Stand up, sir.
Yes, my name is William Bullock, child firefighter in Richmond, and I work with the Riverport areas. And what I'm seeing is a lot is the fact that what vapor is doing to our youth in school. I don't know what they are saying the harmful effect of vapor is doing to us. I go into all the prisons. And what happened is I see a lot of us in jail right now for marijuana for 25, 30 years. The thing that was illegal 10 years ago. That's beside the point. The point is that I had 2 11-year-old young kids I go over Sunday, and they was on vapor. Understand? The effects it's going to have on them, and I see them nodding out and sleeping. So can we, as grown people, look and see we want to make money at the front of losing our kids? No, we can't afford it.
Well, to that, I'll say that we do advocate for the pros and cons of cannabis consumption. Right? We don't condone under 21 years of age to consume either. So we will be putting that out in the public and looking forward to other people in the community to support that and not allow people under 21 to consume cannabis or vape, knowing the dangers of the health.
Stand up, please, and give your name.
My name is Jesse. Can you speak briefly about the difference between what's being sold right now in the dispensaries, as well as what's coming in the future as far as adult use here in Virginia?
So what's being sold now in the dispensaries is medical marijuana. Goes through a process. They do testing to make sure that it is not tainted and it is organic. For the adult use, that'll be more edibles and people who are innovative and coming up with different ways to consume cannabis, which would allow us an opportunity, people of color, the opportunity to make some money so we can take care of our families to help with the reparations from the war on drugs. Because a lot of us have lost a lot from misdemeanors, not being able to get a job, a place to live. So being able to be into the cannabis industry in the adult use part will allow us to be able to remedy some of that, hopefully.
Yes, ma'am. Give your name, and then the last one in the back there. You go to next.
Yes, sir. My name is Charlene Edwards, and I just want to go back to his concern, because what we're seeing, I'm on the prevention end, and what we're seeing, we're going to be different stores and different vape shops. And while it may not be cannabis, there's some derivative of it, and our young people are getting it. So I heard you say the three components that you were doing. Is there any legislation? Are you looking at any ways to keep this out of the hands of our children, because they have access to it, and they don't card them, these vape shops, they don't do anything. They have complete access.
Well, we definitely would like to get with you and your organization to work on implementing a plan to prevent people who are under 21 years of age getting their hands on vapes and such. And that's on the store owners. So we have to do all that we can to hold these store owners accountable.
Okay, the lady in the back had a question.
I have read that you can have up to 4 plants within your home. Does that include public housing also, Mr. Stephen Nesmith?
There are plants. The roses, infidels, all sorts of plants. Excellent plants. But if you're talking about a substance that is illegal, you can't have any illegal substance. No. But if it's legal, that's different.
Can I speak to this?
I can explain what's happening. Okay. What she's bringing up is a very good question, and what he's saying is very right. But unfortunately, the federal law and the state law contradict right now, because the federal property of public housing is prohibited. It's still illegal. And that is one of the disparities, right? The most affordable housing in Virginia, you're not allowed to possess, you're not allowed to grow, you're not allowed to access it, which means the people that are still being criminalized, guess where they live?
Wow.
Public housing.
Public housing. Right. And just to speak to the vaping piece, so I'm part of Marijuana Justice. I work closely with Jesse and folks and with Lonnie on this. We actually just met with the city today. I don't know if you know that or heard that they're putting new ordinances on these tobacco shops.
Good.
So in the summer, they're going to have an ordinance that no new tobacco shops can open because they're opening up everywhere.
Right. Yes.
And they're also looking at what they can do to maybe look at the neon lights to also prevent what's going on. And you talked about a really good question. They are selling hemp in these stores. A lot of these are THC derived, and so they are no longer plant products. They have been through a machine multiple times, taken out the THC, put it in something else, so that is not a plant product. That is why people are getting sick. That's why there are hospitalizations. That is what the kids are getting their hands on, and why we work so hard to get a regulated adult use market that has security, that has testing, that has ID checking, right? And then some of these stores will also just be put out of business because the folks will actually be going to where it is legalized. So I have some more information about Know Your Rights and the things. And my last thing I would just say to organize around this is Marijuana Justice led a bill or a resolution that would form a cannabis commission that starts this July. So this July, the General Assembly will be meeting every single month to discuss that regulation bill all the way up through January to the next General Assembly. They will require public comments, and so you can organize around those meetings, show up and talk about what you want. And so one of those things is zoning. So do you want these cannabis shops in certain places? What do you want them to be? Those are the times to show up and to do that. We did that very specifically because they vetoed our bill twice. And it's like, fine, the governor doesn't want to sign it, but let's meet and have this public comment. So please look out for July, and it'll be a great time to come and organize around cannabis.
Great.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Maurice Levin, Second Vice President, Richmond Crusade and Lobbyist. So, what specific efforts is the organization making to reduce or eliminate the application fees to improve the accessibility for Black, brown, and other historically marginalized individuals to seek the participation in that type of industry?
We're working on putting provisions in the bill that will make it a little more affordable for Black and brown people to be able to enter the industry.
So there's no provisions at this time, no legislation push in regards to that. That's the basis of your organization.
No, that's not true. In the bill, there are waivers for folks that therefore if you qualify a certain place, you have waivers to do the fees, to do taxes. So there are plenty of places in there that have those types of exceptions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Great job. Okay, so folks, tonight we want to thank all the people that came out from the public just to hear our speakers. This is one of the things that our organization is moving forward with. It was a great idea that came from one of our former presidents, that we bring in experts, subject matter experts, to come in and share information, and you can get that information at the Crusade for Voters. And as Dolores Murray right there always says, you can, excuse me one second, ma'am. Excuse me. So what I said is, this is a place where you can come and get the information. We want to make sure every month that we have somebody that will bring information to you separate from our business. Because now we're going to be turning into our business meeting. Now, for those people that are just guests here, you are welcome to join the Crusade by going over there and filling out an application. We're going to take 5 minutes to let our guests to leave. I know this gentleman is a member, he stays. But Mr. Naismith, you can always sign up and join, and you can stay the rest of the night. Otherwise, we want to thank all of our guests for coming. And again, we really want you to join up, become a member of the Crusade for Voters, because this is where change happens. So thank you again, and we're going to take a 5-minute intermission here. Thank you.